We are here to celebrate excellence in social sciences and humanities research. And just as disciplines in the social sciences and humanities cover the entire range of human experience, our winners tonight represent a broad spectrum of Canada's research community. Grâce à la recherche, à l'enseignement et à la collaboration avec d'autres chercheurs, des organismes communautaires et des responsables de l'élaboration des politiques, les lauréats de ce soir possèdent un grand savoir dans leur domaine de recherche et ils partagent ces connaissances avec d'autres chercheurs du monde entier. Pour commencer notre célébration ce soir, j'aimerais inviter Chad Gaffield, président du Conseil de recherche en sciences humaines du Canada, à nous dire quelques mots. Président Gaffield.
We chose SAGACITAS as our theme because its meaning of profound knowledge and understanding reflects both the achievements of our winners and the value that research in the social science and humanities brings to Canada and the world. Grâce au projet que nous finançons, les étudiants sont en contact avec un environnement de recherche de pointe et des idées novatrices. De plus, ces projets permettent aux professeurs de devenir de meilleurs enseignants et donnent aux chercheurs les connaissances et la pensée critique dont ils ont besoin pour devenir des chefs de file dans les universités, le monde des affaires, le gouvernement et le secteur bénévole.
Okay, people, we've got a lot of work to do today. We're mobilizing knowledge. We're measuring impact. Come on, let's see some real results.
Mais c'est quoi le savoir?
We need to get this knowledge into the communities and onto the streets. Healthcare, climate change, business management. I need you front and center right now.
Est-ce que, comme l'arbre dans la forêt, le savoir doit faire du bruit pour montrer qu'il existe? Ou est-ce qu'il peut être discret et invisible, comme la sagesse, sagacitas?
My move into research in the social sciences has been sort of strange. I was a very unhappy computer science student, and I met a philosopher, Paul Fagard, at Waterloo, who was doing work on the brain and specifically computer models of the brain. So I moved from computer models of the brain to modeling people's emotions to just being interested in people's emotions. My research is looking at how emotions influence people's decisions from the level of individual brain processes to these really large social trends that can move millions. In the context of business processes and in marketing, I think a lot of it is going to be changing the way we market products from thinking about how consumers think to thinking about how consumers feel. How people's emotions influence their decisions without them even being aware of it. So for instance, you can think of being underwhelmed by a 1% raise at work and then being elated when you find $20 on the way home. My research actually informs how I feel about other people in real life and interactions in social situations. I think a young person who's going into research in the social sciences has to really feel addicted to the research process. You have to live off your highs, even through some sometimes very frustrating lows. So you have to really feel satisfied that the ideas you're exploring make a difference and are important to you. The greatest thing I've learned about research in the social sciences is just how important and meaningful it is to our everyday lives. This work lifts the veil of mystery off of a lot of interesting aspects of human life, and that's something I really hope to become a part of.
Thanks to everyone here. This is actually a little weird for me. So again, I mentioned in the video that 3 years ago, I was in computer science, and I was very dissatisfied, actually. And it took two philosophers at Waterloo, Paul Fagard and Chris Eliasmith, to show me that I could do meaningful work somewhere, and that somewhere happens to be the social sciences. And I just hope I can live up to the confidence they've shown in me and that SSHRC has shown me by giving me this award. So thanks very much.
J'avais été fasciné par une série télévisée qui était faite par Jacob Bronowski, qui s'appelle en anglais The Ascent of Man. En français, je crois qu'on appelle ça simplement l'évolution humaine. Et on parcourait, en fait, c'est une série télévisée sur l'histoire, un peu sur l'histoire des sciences en général. Alors là, pour moi, c'était quelque chose. C'est une série que j'ai vue encore et encore et encore, insatiable. Et je crois qu'il y a quelque chose en moi qui s'est vraiment déclenché alors que j'avais à peu près 20 ans. Et je me suis dit, c'est ce que je vais faire, je le sais. Comme on dit en anglais, I'm hooked. L'histoire de la vie sur Terre, c'est l'histoire de 99% d'espèces disparues. L'être humain va-t-il réellement faire exception à ça? Je pense qu'une façon de s'en sortir, c'est de mieux comprendre notre environnement. La motivation profonde qui m'a toujours habité, ne s'est jamais démentie au cours des années. Ce que je tente de faire, c'est toujours d'élargir de plus en plus large le champ d'action de mes activités scientifiques. Si j'ai commencé comme paléanthropologue, c'est que très rapidement, j'ai voulu voir encore plus large, donc j'ai voulu comprendre la pensée dans ce domaine-là. Maintenant, non satisfait de ça, je suis allé en philosophie parce que je voulais voir encore beaucoup plus large. Donc, c'est une sorte de boulimie. Je me demande toujours à quel moment mon programme de recherche sera tellement large qu'il va s'effondrer sur lui-même. Mais pour le moment, je pense que j'ai réussi à tenir les morceaux ensemble. On verra. Mais ce qui est toujours plus large, toujours plus de questions, toujours plus de réponses. C'est tout.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. It is for me a great pleasure and a genuine honor to accept this prestigious prize. You might have expected someone slightly younger for a postdoctoral prize. But my father, who unfortunately left us some time ago, used to say that my passion for university studies was so great that he would not be surprised if I would still be sitting on class benches by the time I reached the stage of retirement. So by attributing the postdoctoral prize to someone sitting between anthropology, history, and philosophy, I think that the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council goes a long way towards transforming hand-waving sessions into research policies.
And it's amazing. There's this group of Canadian researchers here doing an archaeological dig. There's experts in genetics, physics, chemistry, climate control, you name it. And not just Canadians. The researchers come from the US, Britain, Russia, all around the world. I asked them why so many people from so many different places, and they said it was like a jigsaw puzzle. Each person's looking at a different piece. Bring all the pieces together, and it's amazing how the picture starts to appear, you know?
I've always been, since, I guess, a very early age, curious and a kind of a consumer of social and political theory. And to me, that's the pleasure of social science, is just that, you know, finding out things, you know, understanding certain things about how the world works. And research is just an extension of learning about the world. So there's really two facets to the research. There's research that I do with colleagues in West Africa and here, which is much more public health or applied research, where we're looking at how to make treatment more accessible and more effective. And then there's the anthropological research, which is stepping back from that and looking at the impact of all these interventions that are going around, that are happening around HIV and AIDS in Africa. For me, this research, what I would like it to achieve is that we in Canada or in wealthy countries be a little bit more aware of the incredible power that we have and that we project around the world, around these humanitarian issues. And perhaps be more reflexive about why we're wielding that power and in whose interest it is. Social science is, I think, much more important than people realize. Do what you love, because then you'll be good at it.
This is a very humbling moment, and I just feel like obviously I couldn't have done it alone, and two actors have been actually with me through all of this career. One is Margaret Lock, who's about to get the Gold Award, and who I took a course with her. It actually made me think, I can still make my parents happy and make myself happy by doing medicine and anthropology together. Et l'autre acteur, c'est le CRSH qui m'a financé depuis le début.
I grew up being someone who was always curious about things. I always wanted to know answers to things. I was an only child, and I used to create games which were challenges to understand things going on in the environment and so on. So I think I've always had those tendencies, partly also the way I was raised, to ask questions and not to just accept answers in a straightforward fashion. I came to Canada as part of the brain drain in the days when Canada was paying airfares for young scholars to come and do research in Canada. And I started out in Toronto in the Banting Institute as a basic science researcher. I enjoyed that to a certain extent. Ended up in California continuing to do research and having to decide whether to do a PhD in biochemistry or molecular biology, and thinking about it and realizing that this really wasn't for me. And having thought about it carefully, I decided that the kind of research that I was most interested in was research in the social sciences or something related to that. I hope that my research will make some difference with respect to public understanding of how we are going about in society today, thinking about bodies in health and illness, how to deal with all the new kinds of medically related problems that we're constantly confronted with, but we don't get in-depth knowledge of how families, populations of people experience being on the receiving end of certain kinds of things. So, for example, interviewing people who have undergone genetic testing and really coming to grips with the impact of what that means. The whole of education about genetics has to gradually be changed so that people, the public, families, the media, everybody begins to really understand that we're working with a very new model and a new understanding of how genetics function. I felt very, very satisfied with my career in the social sciences, and I feel it's been nurtured and nourished in the environment that I've been in a way that I could never have imagined when I started out, actually. This is an absolutely wonderful occasion, and of course I'm really delighted and greatly honoured to have received the gold medal this year. It was an enormous surprise. And I'm especially pleased because this prize represents, in effect, formal recognition not only of my own work, but of the relatively new discipline of medical anthropology. And there are actually two of us here tonight who are medical anthropologists, so this is actually very overwhelming and a very important occasion for our particular discipline.
I just want to make a difference in the world, help make the world a better place. And I'm pretty sure that if I keep learning about other people, other communities, and how we all see our place in this world, I'll be off to a good start.
I wish to thank all of you for joining us tonight for this celebration of the very best in Canadian research. Congratulations to all our winners. Your work exemplifies the values of excellence, creativity, and partnership SHRC is striving to achieve in all its programs.